Nobody wakes up one day and says, I think I'll let someone destroy me. It starts slowly, almost invisibly. A comment here, a look there, a small humiliation dressed up as a joke. And one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize who's looking back. Today we're talking about narcissists, not the word people throw around casually. We're talking about people with a deeply ingrained pattern of manipulation, control, and emotional cruelty. People who can love bomb you into trusting them and then use that trust as a weapon. And the worst part? Most victims don't even realize what's happening until years later. Studies suggest that narcissistic personality disorder affects around 1 in 200 people. But subclinical narcissistic traits, the kind that still destroy relationships, are far more common. If you've ever felt confused, drained, or worthless after spending time with someone, this video might explain exactly why. In the next 20 minutes, we'll walk through every stage of narcissistic destruction, how they choose their victims, how they trap them, how they break them down, and most importantly, how survivors escape and rebuild. Let's start at the very beginning. It always starts the same way. They are the most attentive person you've ever met. Constant messages, compliments that feel tailored exactly to your insecurities. I've never met anyone like you. You're different from everyone else. I think I love you already. This is called love bombing, and it's a deliberate strategy, not a feeling. Narcissists are experts at mirroring. They study you. What do you love? What do you fear? What have you always wanted in a partner? And then they become exactly that person. They're not falling in love with you. They're calculating how to make you fall in love with them. During idealization, the narcissist puts you on a pedestal. You can do no wrong. You are perfect in their eyes. But here's the dark truth about pedestals. The higher they place you, the further you'll fall. And they are already planning that fall, even while you're still floating. Something powerful happens during love bombing. A trauma bond begins to form. The brain releases oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin, the same chemicals as addiction. You don't just like this person, you are chemically attached. So when the mask eventually slips, and it always does, leaving feels physically impossible. The first major weapon, gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone makes you question your own memory, perception, and sanity. That never happened. You're too sensitive. You're imagining things. Over time, you stop trusting yourself, and when you can't trust your own mind, you become completely dependent on theirs. Next comes intermittent reinforcement, the most addictive abuse pattern in psychology. Sometimes the narcissist is warm, loving, and kind. Then, suddenly, cold, distant, cruel. Your brain becomes obsessed with winning back the warm version. You work harder, you apologize more, you make yourself smaller, all chasing a version of them that was never really real. A narcissist cannot survive scrutiny, so they remove everyone who might provide it. They plant seeds of doubt about your friends. She never really liked you. He's a bad influence. Slowly, your world shrinks. Your only emotional support becomes the person hurting you. This is not accidental. This is architecture. Remember that pedestal? It was always temporary. The devaluation phase begins when the narcissist has secured your attachment. Now, the compliments stop. Criticism starts. Small humiliations become daily. You're too needy. Why can't you be more like they are? I was just joking. You're so sensitive. And because you were put so high, you believe the crash is your own fault. Narcissists are master projectors. Every flaw they have, they accuse you of. They lie, but accuse you of being a liar. They cheat, but make you feel like the disloyal one. They are cold, but call you cold. They manipulate and call you manipulative. You spend so much energy defending yourself against false accusations that you never stop to see what's actually happening. When direct control isn't enough, narcissists recruit allies, known as flying monkeys.
These are people they've manipulated into believing their version of events. Friends, family, even your own children, used to spy, pressure, and relay messages. Suddenly, the abuse doesn't come from one direction, it comes from everywhere. And the narcissist watches from the distance, hands clean, while the world attacks you on their behalf. The most profound damage narcissists cause isn't physical, it's the erasure of identity. Slowly, your preferences, opinions, hobbies, and personality get overwritten. You start to think what they think, like what they like, fear what they fear. You become a version of yourself that they approved of, which means you become a version of yourself that barely exists. Long-term exposure to narcissistic abuse rewires the nervous system. Victims develop hypervigilance, a constant state of alarm. You watch their facial expressions like a hawk. You analyze every text. You brace for impact. Even in safe environments, years later, the body remembers. It stays ready for a threat that's no longer there. One of the most devastating effects is self-blame. The narcissist has trained you to believe that their cruelty is your fault. So even after the relationship ends, you replay every moment. Maybe if I hadn't pushed back, maybe if I'd been better, maybe I deserved it. These thoughts are not the truth. They are the last echo of a voice that was never yours. Many survivors of narcissistic abuse develop complex PTSD, flashbacks, emotional dysregulation, difficulty trusting, not from a battlefield, but from a bedroom, an office, a family home. The world doesn't see these wounds. They're invisible, which makes them even harder to heal. But invisible wounds are still real wounds. And when the narcissist has extracted everything they need from you, they discard you, often with shocking coldness. No explanation, no closure, sometimes replaced immediately by a new victim. The discard is not about you. It never was. You were supply, and supply ran out. Understanding this is the beginning of healing. Before we talk about recovery, we need to talk about why leaving is so extraordinarily hard. The trauma bond formed during love bombing is a real neurological chain. Leaving feels like withdrawal, like giving up a drug you know is killing you. The body craves the good version of the narcissist, even knowing that version was never real. Therapists and survivors agree the most effective path forward is no contact, not limited contact, not just friends, not following them online, complete, total silence. Every time you re-engage, the narcissist resets the cycle. The only way to break the chain is to stop pulling it. Recovery begins with a simple, radical act, trusting yourself again. Gaslighting taught you that your perceptions were wrong, that your feelings were too much. Recovery says your feelings were always right, your instincts were always working. The problem was not your mind, the problem was someone who rewrote it. Identity recovery takes time, but it starts with small questions. What did I love before them? What are my actual opinions? What do I find funny? Rebuilding identity after narcissistic abuse is like archaeology, carefully brushing away layers to find what was always there. You are not a blank slate. You were buried. Now you excavate. Narcissistic abuse recovery is not something you should do alone. A therapist who understands trauma and personality disorders can help you name what happened. Community matters too. Survivors who understand the experience in ways others cannot. Healing is not linear. Some days you'll feel free, others the chains still pull. Both are part of the path. Survivors of narcissistic abuse often describe a strange gift that comes with recovery, a clarity about people, a sensitivity to manipulation, an ability to set boundaries they never had before. The damage left scars, but scars mean you survived something, and survival, over time, can become strength. Before we close, here are 4 early warning signs to watch for. Red flag 1, they make everything about them. Every conversation returns to them. Your pain becomes their bigger pain. Your win becomes their story. Red flag 2. They never genuinely apologize. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry, but apologies that are really accusations. Red flag 3. They respond to boundaries with rage. Healthy people accept your limits. Narcissists see limits as a challenge or an attack. Red flag 4. You feel worse about yourself over time. Track your self-esteem over the arc of the relationship. With healthy people, it grows. With narcissists, it shrinks. Let's bring it all together. Narcissists don't destroy with one blow. They destroy slowly through love bombing, gaslighting, isolation, devaluation, and
Discard. The damage is real, the recovery is possible, and the warning signs are learnable. Knowledge is the first protection. If you're watching this and it sounds familiar, you are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not the problem. What happened to you was real, and you deserve to heal. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. Drop a comment. What's your experience with narcissistic behavior? And if you want more psychology through stickmen, you already know what to do.